Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. The word Shiva is blemish free. I am free from all blemishes. Why? Because Aham Chidanandaha. Chit consciousness, Ananda means freedom from limitation, freedom from a sense of inadequacy. So this freedom from sense of inadequacy is asserted because there is a sense of inadequacy. If I look at myself in terms of my mind, senses, then my knowledge, my disposition, my power, Shakti, health, and so on, I see myself wanting. Knowledge-wise, I am wanting. Health-wise, I am wanting. Power-wise, I am wanting. Money-wise, I am always wanting. So when I see myself a wanting person, confined to this body, then what I am not is not ordinary. It is infinite. What I am not is vast. What I am is nothing. If you take the vastness of the universe, then the Mother Earth itself is one speck. In that this continent is speck of a speck. In this Pennsylvania is another speck of a speck of a speck. And then Sailorsburg, where is it? In Sailorsburg, again, you have a room like this and you occupy a seat. And this is me. I need not say that, that one is a speck of a speck of a speck of a speck of a speck. I should not say. So that my smallness and therefore the insignificant status enjoyed by me are not something to say, to point out. It's very evident. But still, this small little person discovers momentarily a certain degree of happiness. Nobody can say that I had never experienced happiness. In other words, freedom from a sense of inadequacy. Nobody can say that I never had this kind of experience. Nobody can say. So in spite of limitations, this insignificant status, one goes through, one has this experience of being free from the sense of being small, insignificant, inadequate, sense of want. So this is not logical. Suppose this experience of my being happy is dependent upon the fulfillment of all my desires, one can never be happy. The unfulfilled desires outnumber the fulfilled desires. So these unfulfilled desires constitute the personality. They don't go away. They make this individual. Therefore, these unfulfilled desires from childhood, one's childhood, they are there, any number. The desires are of different spheres. If you want your mother to be a little different, that's a desire, unfulfilled desire. If you wanted your father to be different, that's unfulfilled desire. Then if you want later the society to be different, the country to be different, the politicians to be different, the humanity to be different, the religious leaders to be reasonable. That is an unreasonable demand. The religious leaders to be reasonable. This is a misnomer. You can't expect a religious leader to be reasonable. And we want the religious leaders to be reasonable. So like this we have umpteen desires. All these desires remain unfulfilled. So these unfulfilled desires outnumber in different spheres. And then your own in terms of education, in terms of profession, professional achievement, leave them all out. Don't count them. So there are so many desires, all of them unfulfilled, and if my happiness depends upon fulfillment of desires, logically it is just impossible to be happy even for a moment. So, in spite of these unfulfilled desires making up my personality, the individuality, and a few fulfilled desires also. You wanted to cross the road, you cross the road. They're all fulfilled desires. So these, if they constitute my personality, then I should never be happy. But that's not the truth. In spite of all these desires, I have always had a few moments of happiness all through my lifetime. As a child, all through my lifetime. In fact, those moments of happiness keep me going. They give rise to hope. And therefore, so we have these two situations. One is my experience of being happy occasionally. The other is the fact that there are so many desires. Desire means I need to fulfill this. Desire is not for fun. I look at myself, my image, my everything depends upon the fulfillment of these desires. If they need to be fulfilled in order to be happy, I can't be happy. But I am happy occasionally. Therefore, as a rational being, I conclude I need not fulfill my desires to be happy. Wow. It's wonderful. It's a great conclusion. It's a far-reaching conclusion. I need not fulfill my desires to be happy. Why? Because in spite of desires, I am happy. And therefore, if I need not fulfill my desires in order to be happy, then this happiness, whatever that you experience, this happiness must be myself, correct? I don't need to become happy. Because in order to become happy, I need to fulfill desires. Without fulfilling all these desires, if I see myself happy, happiness may be my nature. I'm only saying maybe. Maybe it's my nature. That is the reason why I cannot name any one object as happiness. In the world there are many objects. But no one can be called happiness. There are fruits and fruits. There are people and people. There are different things, table, chair. All these objects, none of them is happiness. Or one among them is happiness. Okay? It will be very interesting. If you have an object called happiness, all that you require is pick up happiness, sniff it. So there is no one object called happiness. Nor I see as an attribute of any given substantive an object. And there is a tall tree. There is a short man. There is a black man. There is a white man. There is a happy something. No. Visible. As an attribute. It's not a substantive. It's not an attribute. There is no particular place. What is left out is only place. No particular place, a magic place. You go there, you become happy, ha ha. You come out, you become unhappy. Go there, become happy. There is no such magic Hawaiian beach. There is no magic. People say, Swamiji, how can you say? Hawaii is a place of happiness. You go to Hawaiian beach, you become happy. Don't tell me that. There are people who can't even think of Hawaii because they become unhappy. There is this fellow who went to Hawaii for honeymoon. Then he came back, went to Hawaii, married, come back alone. Why? Because she met another man there. And in the beach, there are people and people. And therefore, she met another man, it's over. Honeymoon is over. And he comes back. Therefore, when he thinks of Hawaii, he becomes unhappy. And in fact, whenever he thinks of a beach, he becomes unhappy. Whenever he sees sand, he becomes unhappy. He can't even think of a sandpaper, okay? He becomes so unhappy. And therefore, forget it. Hawaii is not a place of happiness. That beach I have seen is full of people and cigarette butts and what do you call that, Coke cans and whatnot. This is what beach is. Beach is not happiness. No particular, you can be happy anywhere, you can be unhappy anywhere. No particular time happiness. Particular time you become happy, that time is gone, then you are unhappy. There is no such time. Even though in America you have a happy hour. That's the most unhappy hour. No particular time, desha, kala, vastu. No object, no attribute of an object, no place, no time. Called happiness. Therefore, to be happy has nothing to do with a particular time. To be happy has nothing to do with particular place. It has nothing to do with particular object. It has nothing to do with the attribute of an object. And you are happy, occasionally. Swami, this is another fellow. He says, Swami, happiness is within. Happiness is not without. These are the victims of, the innocent victims of some idiotic sermons. So this is one sermon. Happiness is within. Come on. Within means what? Happiness is not outside. When you listen to music that you love, are you not happy? What is this logic? Look at the stars, sometimes you are happy. Look at the Hollywood stars, you become happy. They're all external. Don't tell me external world doesn't make you happy. Don't tell me that. It does make you happy. And if you say happiness is within, within means what? Your liver is happiness? Kidney is happiness? Kidney is meant for stones. What is happiness? Mind is happiness? Yeah, mind is happiness. Hey, come on. When you are sad, you have no mind? Yeah, I have mind, little more than necessary. There's a lot of mind. Then, the mind is not happiness. Then what makes you happy? Swami, I don't know. I do become happy. One fellow said this. This is another sermon. When you fulfill a desire, you become happy. That's not true. You fulfill a desire. You wanted this job. You got the job. You must be happy. After he got the job, and I asked him, hey, now are you happy? He says, why? This is not the job I wanted. I never thought. Really, Swamiji, I had resigned a good job. I never knew what I was in for. Now I don't know. You fulfill a desire, you become unhappy. And whenever you are happy, you don't fulfill a desire either. More often than not. When you laugh for a joke, what desire do you fulfill? This fellow was eating in a restaurant. I told this before, some of you have heard. He was eating in this restaurant. He had a dog. This dog was a Great Dane. You know Great Dane is a British dog, huge dog. I think that is the biggest dog. Great Dane, it is bigger than a German Shepherd, huge dog. He was eating halfway. The restaurant owner came. Sir, that Great Dane outside, is it your dog? Yes. I'm sorry, sir. Your Great Dane died. How? My dog killed your dog. Your dog killed my dog? Yes, sir. What dog do you have? Chihuahua, sir. Your Chihuahua killed my dog? Yes, sir. How? It got stuck in the Great Dane's throat, sir. It's a slapstick. If this cannot make you laugh, I have got some other serious ones. What desire did you fulfill? Your credit card is still loaded. What desire did you fulfill? From your balding head, the hair came up. What? Come on. You don't need to fulfill a desire to be happy. And every time you fulfill a desire, you don't become happy either. Sometimes yes. Sometimes not. What I say, you have to be very careful when you make any statement. Happiness is neither within. One thing is definite, it is centered on I. You don't see happiness as an object. It is not an object. It is centered on I. I am happy. That I am wanting, also centered on I. The sense of want is also centered on I. Therefore, I am wanting. I am insecure. I am no good. It's centered on I. I am happy, centered on I. When I am happy, this sense of want I am no good idea, a sense of insecurity, that sense is not anywhere in the vicinity. It's very important to know. It looks as though the unhappy became happy. If unhappiness is intrinsic to the self, it can't give up the intrinsic attribute. What is intrinsic is something that cannot be given up by the substantive. If it gives up, then it doesn't exist. If unhappiness is the very subhava, swarupa of myself, I can't give up. If happiness is the swarupa of myself, I can't give up either. Therefore, we are still groping to find an answer to this question, how come I become happy? Perhaps it's my nature, I said. Perhaps unhappiness is my nature. Because both are valid conclusions. If it is my nature, unhappiness, it won't go. Happiness is my nature, it won't go either. Therefore, I find myself happiness going, unhappiness going. What's my nature? Let us say, let us assume unhappiness is my nature. Will I complain about it? I am true to my nature. I am quite at home being unhappy because that's my nature. How will you say that? I am happy being unhappy, how to say that? How will you say that? I find it very difficult to say that. You should help me out. I am happy being happy. That I am happy is not a matter for complaint. That I am unhappy is a matter for complaint. When somebody is happy, I don't condone the person. Means I don't condole the person. No, I don't offer my condolences. Of all people, you are happy. Why should you be happy? This should not happen to you at all. This happiness is very unfortunate. I'm very, very sorry. I share what? Your lot. I feel really bad that you should be happy. Nor you congratulate a person who is unhappy. Hey, today you do better. Your face looks longer. from all this and a few other arguments I have, happiness seems to be your nature, inhibited by unhappiness. Whenever there is a clearance, there is no judgment about myself. Or a judgment about a situation, again comes back to myself only. A situation found to be wanting, found to be wanting means I have certain norms. Situation falls short of those norms. The situation is found to be wanting, making me wanting. I am wanting, really speaking. And that is absent for the time being. What I experience is, let us say, music. And it pleases me. And I am overwhelmed. For the time being. And therefore, I am happy. The judging person, the wanting person, the insecure person is dropped for the time being, because it is a sense, after all, centered on I. That's why in sleep there is a certain freedom from unhappiness. Nobody complains about sleep. That I slept yesterday, the day before also. I have to sleep every day. Very unfortunate. Everybody loves to sleep. Why? Freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from yourself, really speaking. You love to be free from yourself. People are bored. Say, I am bored. With whom? I am bored with oneself. One is bored with oneself. And so there is the sleep really reveals something. This moment of happiness reveals the fact that centered on I is this happiness. That is the time when I see myself as freedom from, as one who is free from any sense of limitation. Here the thesis is that limitlessness is innate. If there is such a thing as limitless, it cannot be separate from you. Limitless plus you will make both limited. You are not limitless and the limitless is not you, therefore both are limited. Correct? The wholeness plus you doesn't exist. Fullness plus you doesn't exist. And experientially one has this happiness in which there is freedom from this smallness, the experience is wholeness. And that reveals the fact of the wholeness being the very nature of consciousness. Not only in terms of space, as I said, in terms of time also. When you think of time, there is time consciousness. Time is the object of consciousness, and there is time consciousness. This time consciousness, when you think of the past, there is past consciousness. About the past you are thinking right now. Now you think of the past. Now there is past consciousness. Now you think of future. Now there is future consciousness. As someone said, the past was one series of now. The future will unfold itself as now. Therefore, the block of time is now. And therefore, what is this now? Someone asked this question. Bhutam bhavishyaccha bhavat sukale tadvartamanasya vihaya tattvam hasyana kim syat gatabhavi charcha vinaika sankyam gananaiva loke. Bhutam bhavishyaccha bhavat swakale. The past, bhutam, bhavishyat, future, both are swakale, in its own time. When it obtained, the past when it obtained, it was bhavat, it is present. When the future, when it unfolds itself, it will be present. Bhutam bhavishyaccha bhavat swakale tat vartamanasya tattvam vihaya asyana kim syad gata bhavi charcha. So without really examining the present, which is the block of time, a discussion about the past, future, etc. should be a matter for laughter. How it cannot be a matter for laughter? Like even a person doesn't know what is one and he wants to learn calculus. Now means what is the length of time involved? Time is, time consciousness is. When you say time is, time consciousness is. As when you say space is, Space consciousness is. Then what is the length of time in this time concept, which is now? The block of time is now. Like in geometry, we are told a line is a series of points. True, a line is a series of points making a length, a series of points. Then what is the size of a point? A point occupies no space. And a series of points make a length. Think of that. That's a truth. Past was present, future will be present, present is present. What is the length of time implied in your concept of present? If you say 1 year, it has got 12 months. If you say 1 month, it has got 4 weeks. If you say 1 week, it has got 7 days. If you say 1 day is present, it's got 24 hours. If you say 1 hour, 60 minutes, 1 minute, 60 seconds, 1 second, 1 million microseconds. 1 microsecond, 1 million picoseconds. What? And they have got further division, mathematical division. So what is the length of time implied in your concept of present? We can understand how gross is our thinking. And mathematically you can keep on dividing. You can add one more zero. Point, not, one more zero. Not, one, zero. Add one more zero. Not. Mathematically. So what is present? Then what you call now present doesn't imply a length of time. If it is a length, it is subject to further division. No length. And therefore, when you say time, you mean present, you mean timeless. Time consciousness is present consciousness, is consciousness. Then you can have second, you can have hour, you can have century, you can add all that, a millennium, etc. You can add. That's time consciousness. Here we seem to come across two orders of reality. One seems to be invariably present. The other is variable. When you say 1 microsecond, there is microsecond consciousness. When you say second consciousness. When you say an hour consciousness. When you say millennium consciousness. Consciousness is invariable. The other is variable. This is what we have to talk about. This reveals something else. This consciousness is not that simple. It's not an epiphenomenon. If somebody says it is something that occurred when certain enzymes are put together, I am not averse to that statement. I will say, live long. Because when certain things put together, something comes to manifest. This consciousness comes to manifest. What comes to manifest is already there. Everything is given. Nothing new is created. Nothing new can be created. And therefore, all that is there is either now manifest or it will come to manifest. If consciousness comes to manifest, it is already there. Under certain conditions it is manifest. We are talking of that consciousness which is manifest. Because you are a conscious being, it's manifest consciousness. That consciousness is not an epiphenomenon. Any epiphenomenon is not epi. It's only a point of view. It is there and occurs under some conditions. So, unlike everything else is consciousness, everything else being object of consciousness. So between the object and the consciousness there is a relationship. This relationship is to be understood, assimilated, and that's what makes you the most significant. The only significant person in this whole scheme of things is just you. There's only one thing, there's no second thing at all. We will analyze that further when we come back. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha